Welcome to Onivia, League of Legends highlights. These are the best highlights from today's Worlds 2024 matchup.
I like having those solo laners hit 6 just in time for like void grub fights or anything like that. So not having that, not having that flash available for that combo is going to be a bit sad.
Flash in onto On here, doesn't have the exhaust and a flash of his own. Zenith plays onto Junja to try and get himself away. Exhaust on the Sejuani, not the target you want. Jun trying to join the fray. Elk having to cleanse flash away as Jun is now caught with a shadowing strike, and PSG find first blood in the bot lane and will force Jun away.
Nice
the 1-2
job.
matches, right? Because this is not where BLG expected to be. It's kind of where PSG expected to be, as Betty should be able to go away here. The Zenith Blade going in. Betty trying to trade back onto Elk. On went in with the Zenith Blade himself. Doesn't have the exhaust up. Now he's taking the Magnet Storm coming out as well. And what is On doing? Looking for the engage, thinking Shun would back him up, but he was left to his own devices. And in the end, he's left to his demise.
Well, the thing is, one of the players that has been involved in some of these Worlds winning rosters was Junja, and he's keeping it going.
Goes in with the Glacial Prism. The cleanse was available for Elk, and he holds it. The bullet time opens up. Jun going in with the Cyclone, looking to make a Tempest. He'll take one. Junja falls. Woody trying to get the CC onto Jun to keep Betty alive. Jun holds it and dies in the end, trying to flash away. But Betty PSG are using the time to take a Drake for themselves. They know they can then go across and even try to catch Knight out, who'll get the Blast Cone, but Junja's going to follow him across. Knight still has the flash, has the ult, has the dash with the weirding. Caught out with the Glacial Prism, True Shot Barrage coming out as well, and Knight now has to invest that summoner. As well, you can see the ward placed there. Junja and Woody looking for the invade towards the red buff. They have pushing mid, they have pushing bot. Betty here to join the battle. Maple gets the first move, can look for a flank here with the Fate Seal, dashes forward, unbinds his soul on down to half HP. The Solar Flare goes in with a bullet time, and that's two locked up, and Woody's the first to fall. Maple was distracted by Knight. Betty dashing back in between worlds. Knight can look for more. Maple dives in with a Fate Seal, but BLG will happily take the triple for Elk.
And just like AoE, the idea was there, but the execution was off.
Going into those tiny corridors is just perfect for the BLG composition, and PSG pay the price. Bin still relatively low, and Asha snuck in here, but there's so many members of BLG collapsing.
Jun cleared out the ward. See On his way up as well. TP coming in as PSG. Well, they're not going to do anything to help out Azure here. He's dead. Knight takes it. They have demolished, right? They have three people in the demolish from Bin. They should be able to take this one first. Maple trying to match, as you say, on the bottom side, but BLG with the TP in. Invests a lot to make sure they take the first turret. And it does give them that gold infusion that they were looking for.
Over towards mid to cover that mid lane play, so it's a nice read from PSG, and Knight just not wanting to give over that little tower to really put pressure onto. PSG are still holding on towards mid. They have push on bot, so it kind of was like a Hail Mary.
Earlier, I really think, he's in position with Cleanse Flash Ezreal to be able to now. Oh, the ultimate down now for Aja.
He gets the wave, and because of that, they decide not to dive. Meanwhile, in the top lane, look at the pressure PSG are putting on. TP from Knight away from the wave. PSG should be able to get the tier 2 here, but they might sacrifice their tier 1 in mid for it. Elk opens up on the tower, takes it, and the tier 2 will be exchanged. BLG deciding that they couldn't defend anyway, and so they want to make sure they open up the map.
And it's not a bad idea. You do get 2 towers there.
100% true, but I will say, if we're going down this Animal Farm route, I feel like the mid lane towers are quite important as well. Now, up is Q3, PSG still fighting over this dragon. TP coming in from Azure as well. He's just finished the Shadow Flame. 2 items on the cannon. Bin will TP to the control ward down towards the top side of the fight. Jun is in the pit. Azure is behind them. There's a control ward there. Betty putting damage into the On right now. Jun going in with the Cyclone onto the backline. Finds Maple, but doesn't find Betty. Azure and PSG will disengage the fight. Jun has to flash the wall, but he's locked up with his Fate Sealed. Bin now in the pit, trying to battle against Junjun and Maple, but BLG are all retreating. Will PSG look for more? Azure has the flash, has the slicing motion, but PSG decide that's enough.
Just end up separated. PSG, they're on Baron. In the last team fight, they divide and conquer. Can they just get this objective?
Bin uses the Hexates there to see the information. Woody diving in, and he stops Elp from putting under bullet time. The slicing mouse from on the back line as well. Knight's in the pit, but Maple puts him in the dirt. Bin now going in for a little bit more, but can't land the counter strike onto Maple. Another is down. On has fallen. PSG are somehow...
They're at 3 dragons. They have control of the entire rift right now.
And they got the stun as well onto Elk, who has the flash and will use it to dash away. from any follow-up engage. Jun going in with the Cyclone, trying to make a Hurricane rip through PSG. They'll find one already. Jun stunned up. Azure flashing away from the Solar Flare. All the while, Betty and Maple were pushing in the bot side. They take a tier 2. Maple looks for a little bit more. On lands the stun with the Shield of Daybreak. The weirding out from Knight for a little bit of damage as well. True shot barrage between the
Talon,
upright.
when they came into the play-ins, a lot of teams disappointed with their performance, where they didn't look as clean as they possibly could have. But here,
Cyclone again from Jun. True shot barrage coming out from Betty as well. Between, well, Jun just locked up in it. He'll flash across. On falling low, 200 HP on him now as Betty looks to open up. Fate sealed, the slicing Maelstrom coming in too. Jun's down, Bin's down, On's down! And BLG are up. It's only Knight and Elk left alive. Can they defend against PSG? The TP is going to come in from Azure. The bullet time to clear the wave. And that might just be enough. There's another wave on its way. 10 seconds from hitting onto the inhibitor tower. 27 seconds on Shun. Knight starting to back away. One inhibitor seems to be the prize PSG get for winning that fight. Elk and Knight will try and defend at the Nexus Towers, and PSG probably won't push for more. They don't invest the TB from Azure. They will
BLG, they're just so far behind now. Completely out-itemized. They're the ones that have to pull out the surprise play.
I think a lot of people forget that this was...
behind.
Oh, hang on, TP
behind. Woody's going to be engaged on here, but On is now in the meat grinder. Maple goes in with the base sealed, and Azure is just waiting for his opportunity to open up. Bin's taken one. The slicing Maelstrom will find another, though. Betty being chased out by Shun. He'll flash away. Shun dies to Betty, and Betty survives. Bin diving in onto Maple, who can unbind his soul and then dash back. Junja trying to keep the dragon aggro for now. Maple put into the dirt by Bin. PSG still have 2 alive. Elk's going to try and keep the dragon aggro, but Betty can do a lot of work from a lot of range right now. Elk has the bullet time coming up in 7 seconds. Junja trying to heal himself back up in the jungle. Elk there makes it rain. Bin going to try and get for the reset. Elk still full HP. Bullet time, no flash, no... Well, it has the flash, but no cleanse. Bin TP's in. Junja's looking for it. And Elk finds one. The shutdown, he'll find another great cleanse from Elk. Junja able to survive, but Bin will take the Drake, the soul, not quite, but PSG.
That 1,000 gold, though, we'll see if that actually ends up paying off there for BLG.
I mean, it's 4 items on Elk now. Hasn't gone for the upgraded boots. Don't really need them on MF because you have that strut on. That Solar Flare was a mile wide. On gets caught with the Glacial Prison, has no flash, has the exhaust, will get away for now. The world's between as Woody trying to escape, but he's just burst out by Elk. Those 4 items coming to the fore for BLG. A Cyclone onto Ginger, who has the flash as well. The bullet time comes out, the slicing Maelstrom, as Bin is trying to dive across them. Betty and Maple, the only 2 left alive for PSG. Maple will flash, but the bullet still finds his back. BLG win the fight.
PSG were so...
Top of it. Lot of bounty gold, both objective and champion, going the way of
At the same time, Cannon in the bot lane still harassing that tower down. Mid lane turret is taken by BLG. The gold swings in their favor for the first time in a long time in this game.
I think there is an angle for PSG, though, to create pressure on this top side. You are PSG, they forgo the outer turrets, but they hold on to what are the important ones in the grand scheme of things.
Oh, BLG setting up something here. Junja able to dodge away from On, puts the Glacial Prison back in him. Down to half HP, the Mystic shots from Betty, and On is off! Betty now locked in the pit with Knight, but do you really want to be locked in there with him? The TP in from Azure as well, looking for that slicing Maelstrom. Remember, there's no exhaust as well. PSG trying to get the push through mid, through Maple. Bin still looking for that flank. Woody's going to try and mark him. They see him, the counter-strike goes in. The bullet time as well, Azure's ripped to pieces. Fate sealed from Maple isn't enough. Bin diving onto Woody, and that's 2. Betty forced away, has to dash away from Shun, and Bin is just doing so much work on the back line. It's a double for Elk. The flank sublime from BLG.
At the end of the day, it's Bin Jax in back-to-back Dragon fights. He gets the job done, and with the Baron buff, BLG are inside the base.
And it just helps out Elk so much. The bullet time is perfect. The flash away from the Yone ult as well. Elk needed to be that follow-up and damage, and he's putting PSG down.
Betty's time to shine. He opens up on Elk, who tanks the tower. Bin going in with a counter-strike as well. They'll just take one Nexus Tower for now, but Betty gets the slow. Knight goes in, and Betty dashes away. He can't survive the weirding. Puts him 6 feet under, and now BLG will open up on the second Nexus Tower. Woody going back in, looking for Bin again, but Bin somehow still survives. PSG wiped away under their Nexus towers. Azure spawns just in time to watch the Nexus fall.
14-18 bust the J Scott, but never really had a strong foothold. You only saw like very small instances of
Just
it.
in how many things kind of domino into each other in that bot lane, right? Like Elk getting the reset, then being able to freeze it out. He has the cull. There's already 49 stacks left on it, so he's over halfway towards completing it. But because of the way that they then push the lane out, see Ginger actually getting caught here as Jun going in for the engage on with a great hook, and Ginger falls for first blood.
And to your point, Medic, this is what Prime BLG looks like. This movement from On, constantly shifting around the map, holding positions so then he can get out and work his magic. And now Maple is running, hoping that he can find some sort of way to teleport out of this jungle, but short of magic or a miracle, I think he might be done for.
And he gets clipped as well by the accelerated shock blast, meaning an execute is no longer an option for Maple. Shun should be able to chase him down, who dash across the wall with a flap, flap, flap. Knight still chasing here, Glacial Prison used just to make sure that this dragon is going extinct alongside his buddies. Knight will secure the kill, his second of the game.
He was able to get really synergized with their 5-on-5s.
I will say, if I'm trying to funnel my gold on this PSG comp, I don't think Azure is the one that I really want to funnel it on.
You got to point it somewhere else. Yeah.
Try and get someone Maple, who's about 700 gold behind in the mid lane and maybe more, as there's the flash engage from Shun. Maple down again, and Shun joins Knight on the scoreboard. And Hubris for Knight. An item we don't too often see. Has been seeing a lot of play in solo queue recently and in ARAM, but Kobe, do you want to elucidate why he may have gone this?
Well, it's obviously because of the world song, Heavy Lies the Crown, and it's a crown.
Also, if you can't get a murder book, you need a murder crown.
Oh, so we see Shun getting caught up here. PSG trying to fight it. Bing going in with the counter-strike. Woody misses, but gets the charm, doesn't get the knock-up, and now he needs to get the hell out of there. Depth charge onto Ginger. It's another for Knight. He's stacking the hubris. Put them back under the ground. Knight finds another double, and there's 19 stacks.
Woody investing everything. Maybe that can open up a place for PSG to attack. It's so difficult because set up with a teleport. Maybe they...
So Betty has no Featherstorm, but does have a cleanse and a flash. On's trying to get on top of him to get the staggering blows down. They're going to land the dredge line onto Woody, who dashes back with a battle dance and escapes.
I think BLG have a lot of winning answers to PSG's questions.
As a side note, Bin for a little bit of a fight here. Should be able to force Azure out of this bush. Goes in with the counter-strike. Knight dives in onto Maple. The quickness coming out as they look to dive onto to Knight. Mom is called. Azure now on the front line. BLG will disengage. But extra AD for the next 90 seconds, and that can sack up as well, right? So you get stronger through the course of the fight, through your hubris, which is probably why he tries to hover around this bot side to keep this tower alive. Maple's here as well. Shun is going to meet him. Impale lands onto one. The dredge line short from On. Elks, though, still looking for the plate. There's one minion still alive. On will now tank up the tower, and Woody will have a grand entrance and give On a grand exit.
I mean, that's actually big. Any bit of gold that PSG can get at this stage in the game could be very big for their dream of team fighting their way out of it. And Shin is going to be able to execute no problem. Does get all the way into enemy territory. So no further benefit gain there, but still, even being able to...
Azure, of course, can keep being around in that lane, but might want to just dodge around the side here. Hex smash back across the wall from On to rejoin with his teammates. PSG are looking for that fight. Ginger very tanky with the Zeke's convergence. Maple still stacking up, sneezing all over BLG. Woody looking for that flank, has the quickness, has the flash in a couple of seconds. The engage with the Glacial Prison. Featherstorm coming out from Betty, quickness from Woody. They're looking for On, but the depth charge will lock him up for a second. On now sacrificed by BLG. As PSG managed to find a kill. Bin still pushing in the bot side. Jun being chased out by Azure, but doesn't quite land the stun into the wall. Jun just still looking for Elk, who has the cleanse, but goes for Knight instead. Pulls him back. Where's the damage? It's Azure right now. The keeper's verdict is that Knight is guilty. His hubris has been his downfall as Junja puts him 6 feet under.
There's no way BLG had the correct timer on Aj's teleport, I feel like. You know, they kind of walk. Work. That is not a mistake that you kind of give lightly here.
And even the silver lining of getting bot tower was just answered by top for PSG. Now, BLG will get this tower, but you can already look at bot side and see that PSG are going to trade as well. So what had been a good start for BLG is really starting to disappear as Aja now solo under the tower. This could be a bit of risky play.
I has the keeper's verdict in a few seconds, still has his flash. Betty trying to come across as well. He's met with Knight. The accelerated shock blast doing a lot of work on, looking for that turret. TP coming in from PSG as they look to collapse. On not tanking the tower yet, has that concussive blow. Steadfast presence coming out. There's the quickness. It's only onto the tank so far, but on's the first target. Glacial Prison coming down as well with Slow Maple for a second, but Junja's here to join the Barney, to join the fight. PSG find another bin, is being pinged to hit that mid lane tower, but there's still a couple of seconds before he can get on it. Betty's going to try and answer him. He has the demolish and 5 grubs. It will be enough to take the turret.
But it's the exact same thing again. BLG not respecting how quickly PSG can get across the map. They reset on bot.
Archer goes for Elk. Gets the cleanse out of him in exchange for his flash. Junja and Woody, though, can look for this, and Elk back in a precarious situation. Junja just go for the Kaiser, killer instinct out. TP behind by Bin as well. The Impale hits on to Elk. Bin looking to do what he did in game 1, but the verdict is that he can't get in there.
I don't think BLG are going to fight this, though. They're just looking for that tier 2 in top, trying to accelerate this chase even further. PSG not really sure how they want to approach this. Aja has his teleport up, but he's still got to run there. Terra goes down, and now if this Hoppy shows on the wave, Jace TP's in.
There's the TP in. Aja can TP as well. Will answer with one of his own. BLG grouped up as 4 for now. Bin's going to join them. Junja trying to get in towards the pit to take the Drake. Unlocked up. The Blade Caller coming back as well, and Junja will land the smite. But Woody goes down first. Shun and Bin, the next 2 targets. It's support for support so far. Aja still looking for a little bit more. Knight trying to put the damage down from long range. That's what we talked about with this composition, their ability to poke, but in this fight, they haven't really had the opportunity to do so. Junja can look for a little bit more, chucks a rock across the wall and hits. Knight's in his back. PSG trying to open up towards this mid lane tier 1. Elk and Knight here to defend. There's another wave on its way, though.
Yeah, I mean, Jace could try and poke, but you've got 2 fat tanks in front of you. Can't really get the damage around them. Forces the flash with just the raw
2
Skarner.
as well for Maple with the Manamuna in the Spear of Sojourn. 2 as well for Knight, or 2.5 with the last Whisper in his inventory. Maple still sacking up a little bit slow as the hook goes down onto Junja. There's the double impale into the grand entrance, but the charm coming back with the quickness into the Blade Caller. Look at the CC, look at the suppression on BLG, and look at the flash forward from Betty. He tries to get onto Elk, he can't quite get the damage down. Elk somehow survives through the burn, through everything. Elk
He had so many feathers down. He wanted the biggest of Blade Callers. Just needed a tiny bit more.
Behind. Elk not here. Knight the first target. Azure locks him up for a second. On going forward as well. Azure still trying to chase Knight out. Bin here to join the party as On flashes away. Keeper's verdict on Bin is that he needs to come back in a couple of moments. He's going to TP behind them here, but perhaps PSG have a moment in the 4v5 to really open up. Mom comes down. The Featherstorm used as well, but Bin finds the 4-man stun on the back line. Elk cleanses away the Blade Caller route, and once again it's Giga Bin absolutely styling on fools.
PSG completely fall to the non-weapon.
Is to be ahead of the curve in terms of items, in terms of damage, and that's exactly where BLG are now. 6,000 gold their lead. They have 3 items doing exactly that onto Woody and Junja, and just constantly putting damage into the backs of PSG.
And every comp with a Bin Jax is just a Bin Jax comp as well. Yep. Especially if you have a Sejuani, but he's over 2,000 gold ahead now as well, working on the Frozen Heart, so he can be a tank in the middle.
On looking for the hook here onto Azure, goes in with the depth charge as well. He's impaled, the quickness on the backline, but already BLG have taken 1 kill. It's 1 for 1 so far. On and Azure falling. Betty having to pop the Featherstorm. Bin is Bin, baby! Already we see Elk killing off Betty. Bin looking for a little bit more as Woody dashes out of the fight. Bin wasn't even really needed, just forces PSG away. Now the tier 2 in the bot lane, the target for BLG.
It's a nice attempt from PSG, but Bin on the flank sets up for BLG to take the fight. Now he's back on towards mid, and he's healthy as you like.
Maple has hit that execution threshold, and looks like PSG are trying to collapse onto Bin. No flash for him, no way out. You gotta feel. Goes back in with the counter strike. Who needs a way out? This is Bin we're talking about, and then he dashes away with a leap strike. Put him in the trash, Bin. Does exactly what you need him to perform from time to time, even the series against FlyQuest as well. It was a very close game in the early game until FlyQuest really began to take it away. They're still looking for more here, though, as Junja goes in with the Impale. The quickness coming out as well is stopped by the depth charge, but Knight is locked against the wall, and Bin, even he can't rectify this situation, can't bail them out. The Blade Caller back onto On, who has to flash away himself. Elk now joining the battle, a double counter-strike as the engage goes on to Azure, but BLG have only found 1 so far. Betty's on that front line, no Featherstorm for him, and Bin finds it again. I doubted him for a second, but he makes you believe that Jax is the most OP pick in the game. It's Bin, again, to clean it up for BLG.
Bin decimates PSG Talon, and with that, they will be bowing out of the World's Championship, but for BLG, it's only one more step on what is a long road ahead of them.
BLG are looking to get to 2-2, to challenge for the quarterfinals, to continue to level up as they defeat PSG and go.
These were the best highlights from today's Worlds 2024 matchup. Click that subscribe button faster than Ramus can say,
Okay.
see you on the next one.